a great place for us all. This message is from Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation in collaboration with Nigerian Television Authority NTA.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before.
Accident Investigation Bureau commences investigation into the military air crash that occurred in Kaduna over the weekend. Cheers gravest Nigerians pay last respect to military officers who died in Abuja. Plus, stakeholders prefer solutions to challenges facing sustainability of agriculture in the country. These and more on Panorama today, reaching live from Abuja. I'm Elizabeth Omori. We'll be right back. The Accident Investigation Bureau of Nigeria has been mandated by the Nigerian Air Force to lead the investigation into the crash of a military aircraft that occurred on Friday in Kaduna. A statement by the AIB General Manager Public Affairs Tunji Oketumbi indicates that the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder from the accidented big craft 350 aircraft have been recovered. An investigation has commenced. Investigators will download and analyze vital information contained in the recorders of the AIB's world-class flight safety laboratory in Abuja. The remains of the Chief of Army Staff, late Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, and other officers and men of the Nigerian military who died in a plane crash have been interred at the National Military Cemetery, Abuja. Defense correspondent Najat Tijani reports.
Barely 3 months after the burial of 7 Nigerian Air Force personnel who died in a Nigerian Air Force Beechcraft during a routine surveillance mission, the nation is also witnessing again a similar event with a burial to take place at this same venue, the National Military Cemetery here in Abuja. In heartfelt tributes to their gallantry, President Buhari, represented by the Minister of Defense and the Chief of Defense Staff, praised the daily sacrifice the armed forces of Nigeria makes for the country, citing and urging love for country as the motivating factor.
The late Chief of Army Staff inspired courage and confidence in the Nigerian Army, which informed the successes recorded during his watch. He led the Nigerian Army from the front and was a source of inspiration worthy of emulation by all officers and men.
Remember, it is love for country. To the able, gallant, and courageous officers and men of the armed forces of Nigeria, as we mourn our colleagues, let us march on in the determination to defend our country against every form of threat. Your spirit is unquenchable.
Family members mourn the demise of the gallant officers described as some of the finest minds in the military and who were on their way to attend the passing out parade of the Depot Nigerian Army. As the gallant officers are interred, Nigerians are urged to always remember their sacrifice. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Before their burial at the National Military Cemetery, a prayer session was held at the National Mosque and the Air Force Protestant Church in Abuja in honor of the late Chief of Army Staff and the 10 others separately. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
Arrival of this ambulance conveying the remains of late Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru and 5 others signals the commencement of the Muslim funeral prayers led by the Chief Imam, National Mosque, Abuja. The religious cleric described the supreme price paid by the departed army chief and his entourage as a divine call, and urged Nigerians to pray for the repose of their souls.
My advice to we that will remain, beginning from me and my brother and all others that are listening to us today, you should know that when, where, and how we are going to die, nobody knows except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Similar service was held for officers of the Christian faith, where the clergy urged Nigerians to remain steadfast in the nation's trying moment and appeal for continued prayers for those in the front line.
They live all their life fighting for the rest of Nigeria in peace. And we glorify their effort, their sacrifices and service to this nation. Hear our prayer. Give us your consolation in this moment of bereavement.
Emotional sights, but comforted by the deeds of the departed, family members say. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
You're watching Panorama on NTA. Let's take a break now. More reports when we return. Just stay with us.
We need to reach out to the people. We should convince them. We should use the systems that we have used before in getting our people vaccinated over the years.
Please, this is good for you and good for others and good for the health of all Nigerians.
I want to reassure our people that as your governor, I will not subscribe to anything that will harm you nor affect your well-being.
Which has helped other states, including states, to demonstrate capacity to rise to the occasion in our collective effort to win the desired war against COVID-19.
From all indications, quality, safety, efficacy, the benefits outweigh the side effects. So, from all indications, it's generally safe.
I have to congratulate Mr. President and particularly the PTF, headed by the Solicitor government.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, to COVID-19 update, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control has announced 43 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. Lagos has 19, Rivers 14, Katsina 5, Jigawa 3, Kano and Oyo 1 each. There are now 165,852 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country. 156,456 have been discharged, while 2,067 persons have died from the virus. Now to other matters, we are part of the solution is the focus of the 2021 International Day for Biodiversity. And like many countries of the world, Nigeria is making commitments to the agenda for sustainable development to protect the planet from degradation. On NTA, Fine-Face reports.
International Day for Biodiversity is a reminder that man and nature are in one community, and this underscores the importance of concrete, concerted and coordinated global actions for the conservation, restoration and sustainable use of biodiversity.
By reversing biodiversity loss, we can improve human health, realize sustainable development and address the climate emergency.
The day is also a call for people to be part of the solution to the biodiversity crisis by preserving natural ecosystems.
If you take 5 mango trees, orange trees, and plant it within your house environment, it's going to give you shade, it's going to give you clean air, and you have benefits from it as well.
For Nigeria, the day is another opportunity to articulate the country's climate ambition, an action the Minister of Environment, Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, considers crucial to biodiversity conservation.
Currently, we are championing energy transition to reduce dependence on carbon-intensive energy sources. Based on that, one of our commitment in the NDCs, one of the sectors is provision of solar energy, that is power sector.
International Day for Biodiversity is a major build-up to the 15th meeting of the Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, COP15, slated for October 2021 in China. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
Into food security, a one-day rural community stakeholders food systems dialogue has ended in Bayelsa State with various recommendations for safeguarding quality, accessibility and affordability of food. Organized by Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises, the forum held in Sabagira, Kolokuma, Okbukuma, local government area of the state. Senam Bamgui reports.
The Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises project in the Niger Delta, Life ND, is a rural program. About 40 women, youth and elders gathered at Egbelu Ikati Hall at Kalama, Sabagria for the discourse. A key objective of the Life ND project is to transform the rural economy to enhance income, food security and job creation for youths and women.
In the dialogue itself, there are actions that need to be taken immediately, and it is the UN that will decide in the context of the issues that are identified what is immediate. So it could take place in less than 3 months.
Some recommendations at the discourse include that every household be encouraged to engage in some form of farming, with the government and support agencies providing expert advice on the type of crops suitable for each soil type, seedlings, and where necessary, acquisition of land to be allocated to farmers that otherwise would have no access to land.
That will go a long way in improving my community. The mindset of the people, you are waking us up on a lot of issues.
Very nice decision that came to this village to improve the food system.
Immediately after this program, I will kind of inform the community, especially the youth.
Participants also highlighted losses to crops from annual flooding of the environment and need for silos for preservation of harvested crops. From Sabagria in Kolokoma Pokuma local government of Bayelsa State, Senam Bamigboye, NTA News.
The Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail line is set for inauguration. Minister of Transportation Chibike Rotimi Amechi at the inspection tour says President Muhammad Buhari is expected to perform the inauguration ceremony on the 10th of June this year. Oinaya Kaloka reports.
Minister of Transportation Chibike Rotimi Amechi arrived in the mega station to kickstart the inspection tour from Lagos to Ogun and Oyo states, covering the 386-kilometer tracks. His major concern stepping out of the vehicle is the level of completion.
Are you ready? This is our last question. Are you ready? We're ready for commissioning. Because you see, we want to visit the president by giving us middle week of June. We won't come again. The next time you see us here is commissioning. We are good to that.
The inspection tour took the minister and his team to the 10 stations.
You will see that the 10 or 11 stations are almost ready. Some of the underpasses are ready.
In fact, even if we want to commission within the next 10 days, we should be able to do it by mobilizing additional hands. So we're going to be on the contractor's neck to make sure that they achieve the target.
At the APM terminals, Apapa, with 8 new standard gauge tracks added and 3 narrow gauge tracks rehabilitated.
We intend to move cargoes from the seaport up to Ibadan. So some people may have to move their cargoes to Kano from Ibadan.
It has been breathtaking. Like seriously, we need this kind of development, you understand?
This is said to be the last inspection tour of the double-track standard gauge rail line, as President Buhari is expected to perform the inauguration ceremony on the 10th of June 2021. Oyinaya Kalo Oka, NTA News.
And for the continuation of Panorama, let's join Rigat Shukun in our Kaduna Network Center for more reports.
It plans to employ additional 5,000. Stakeholders are worried that the current vandalism of rail tracks is creating a setback to the federal government efforts at reviving the federal rail service in Nigeria.
We sincerely apologize. Looks like our studio in Kaduna is having a little technical challenge. We'll continue from here. The state of security in the rail transportation needs more measures to avoid vandalism. Austin Edemodo reports that elders gave the advice in Asaba, Delta State.
The resuscitation of railway services across the country has no doubt impacted on the socioeconomic fortunes of Nigerians and the nation at large. Of recent, these critical national infrastructures have come under attack by vandals. A typical example is the Warri-Itakpe railway service line, which has been partly vandalized along Adogo substation in Itakpe.
How on earth should one be thinking of vandalizing national assets? How on earth will somebody even buy these things from you?
At a time when we want railways to cut across every part of Nigeria, because railway is one of the swiftest and fastest means of movement, there is no go slow. But if you vandalize the rail tracks, there will be derailment, people will lose their lives.
This unfortunate incident has been described by Nigerians as not only economic sabotage but a criminal act which must be treated with all sense of urgency and seriousness.
Let us be objective in Nigeria. Crime should be punished. People who vandalize public infrastructure, they should be punished to know that they are trying to underdevelop the country.
So we as Nigerians must make up our minds to protect infrastructure that government has given us.
Interestingly, the rail services have not suffered any serious setback, as Nigeria cannot afford to lose out on the enormous socio-economic benefits of train transportation service in the 21st century. I'm Austin Edemodo, NTA News.
Ajaokuta Steel Company is central on the industrial map of Nigeria, and a lot of investment has been made to revive the hitherto decaying rail lines. But our reporter Solomon Aiden in Lokoja reports that activities along Itakwa-Ajaokuta lane are cheerful.
Scattered away by vandals are rail track steels, metal plates, Wells loop lines, and rail sleepers, among other locomotive infrastructure. Security personnel and public analysts say the trend of rail line vandalism is new in Kogi State and elsewhere. They maintain that the tracks have been there for several decades without obstruction or theft. They describe the act as economic sabotage against the nation.
When that happens, it's either with the intention to discredit the government or for selfish interests.
The intention of those who went there to remove those items or vandalize those rail lines was not only to cripple the economy of that particular axis and damage government property, but also put the lives of those who are going to use those things at risk.
It will affect, how can we repair? The money we would have used for other things, we are going to use for repair it.
The introduction of the passenger train service has been of immense benefit in the transportation of goods and services at a safe, reliable, and affordable way.
Everybody has a role to play, and like I said, there are middlemen who are benefiting from that vandalism we saw. So some people are there buying. We need to regulate this scrap iron business that is going on.
Citizens are advised to join efforts of the security agencies to save lives and safeguard public utilities by volunteering information at all times.
In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi.
Railway police, a name or unit that many are not familiar with, but it exists. On this basis, and in view of the rising case of vandalism on rail and locomotive sleepers, our transportation correspondent Onyinaya Kaloka finds out how effective or otherwise of the railway police.
With the revival of the Nigerian railway system, security personnel of the Nigerian Police Force and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps were deployed across railway corridors, stations and trains to provide security and safety for passengers and infrastructure. In the train stations, inside the train, their presence are visible. But can that be said of the tracks, with constant vandalism of railway key components? Daily reports trickles in of one act of vandalism or the other across the country, in both the narrow and standard gauge. More than 100,000 clips and hundreds of railway sleepers are reportedly vandalized in the last 2 years.
We have made over 50 arrests. We currently have 20 cases in Federal High Court, and we have about 45 cases that have not yet been filed, carrying out investigations on others because we are yet to arrest the primary suspects.
The effectiveness of railway policing of infrastructure, observers maintain, needs to be scaled up, and the criminal justice system as well as penalties strengthened for offenders. Yet another question: how possible is it to achieve an effective policing of rail infrastructure with most rail tracks sited in secluded areas with lack of adequate manpower and facilities?
We are in the process of employing drones, and we are working with the NRC also on the possibility of using satellite imagery.
The Nigerian Railway Corporation maintains an internal security system. This, many believe, should be enhanced with more training and monitoring. Oyinaya Kalo Oka, NTA News.
You're still watching Panorama. Let's take a break now. We'll be right back.
We need to reach out to the people. We should convince them. We should use the systems that we have used before in getting our people vaccinated over the years.
Please, this is good for you and good for others and good for the health of all Nigerians.
I want to reassure our people that as your governor, I will not subscribe to anything that will harm you nor affect your well-being.
We just have other states, including states, to demonstrate capacity to rise to the occasion in our collective effort to win the deserved war against COVID-19.
From all indications, quality, safety, efficacy, the benefits outweigh the side effects. So, from all indications, the general said.
I have to congratulate Mr. President and particularly the PTF, headed by the Secretary of Government.
Thanks for staying with us. A sense of ownership needs to be given to communities where the railways are situated to ensure the protection of facilities such as the rail lines. But is this obtainable in the communities? Larry Bilay will tell us.
One of the major challenges being experienced in the rail sector in Nigeria is the act of vandalism, as some unscrupulous elements tamper with the rail lines of communities close to the railway station in Akinyele local government area of Oyo State, which serves as Lagos-Ibadan rail line. The challenge now, however, is how these lines could be protected in order to ensure adequate maintenance and improvement of the system.
We have effort of these vigilante people, all these Amotekun and others security agents. So we were together, meeting together, do everything together to make sure there won't be any problem before they start.
We have met the seasonal ruler here, and arrangement is top gear to make sure that we protect this project because it increases our socio-economics of this state.
We as the local government representative, we are there to protect the government project, we are there to protect the life, we are there to ensure that things are going smoothly.
It's another means of protecting one's investment, that is their view, because the railway station is going to improve the socio-economic life of this community on a whole new level. From Ibadan, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
Let's shift attention to political matters. Governor Ben Ayade's defection to the All Progressives Congress is coming with a lot of changes in the political terrain of Cross River State. The latest is the secretariat of the PDP in Calabar along the Murtala Mohammed Highway, now wearing the colors of the All Progressives Congress APC. Erica Eve was the former PDP secretariat, where renovation is ongoing, and now reports.
At the former People's Democratic Party Secretariat, flags of the PDP were taken off, and some members of the All Progressive Congress were seen inspecting the ongoing renovation. With enthusiasm, some members say it is a welcome development for the states, as it is an opportunity for the state to assess and harness the federal government allocations and other benefits that belong to the states.
As the head of this party, he decided to, change pattern and decide to step aside and then go to another party, which is the ruling party in the country.
In practical politics, everything is practical. So we have to put it in practice.
He's in APC. You don't expect that this building, which he rented and paid for, will still be used by the PDP people.
Meanwhile, concerned Nigerians are reacting to the recent developments and wonder what informed the decision.
It's a very sad development. People have defected. His Excellency Governor Umahi in Ebonyi State defected. He didn't temper with the secretariat of the PDP.
Since the building is rented, isn't it possible for the new party to rent another building?
Before now, the All Progressive Congress APC had a functional secretariat at Marion Road, Calabar. In Calabar, Erica Ivy, NTA News.
And that ends Panorama this afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori.